Find other great podcasts like this one at podmoth.network.
Hey, Freaky friends! It's Michelle and Melissa from the Freaky Fridays podcast. We are sisters in separate states and love to talk about all kinds of spooky, freaky, and scary shit while drinking and laughing through our fear.
Join us Fridays as we delve into everything from the world of the paranormal to scary movies to creepy stuff we find around the internet. Subscribe to Freaky Fridays wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
Sleep tight.
Make sure you leave the lights on.
Freaky Fridays is a proud member of the Podmoth Network. For more awesome pods, check out podmoth.network.
Hey, Twisted listeners, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Diva.
And this is Twisted Listers, a podcast about murder
and lists.
We're brought to you by the Podmoth Podcasting Network. Check out all the other shows. They're amazing. And we wanted to call something out. So we've both had some audio issues lately. Diva's mic wasn't set up. My mic wasn't set up. And then even after I was like, oh, I got a new computer, but don't worry, I set the mic up. I forgot to set Zoom to my mic. So I've just been using computer audio and it sounded like dog shit. So I think the last 3 episodes have been
one of us has been off. Yeah.
Yeah, one or both has been like problematic.
Yeah.
So
but we should be back now. We should be okay.
At this point in our career as podcasters, we should not be having this much audio difficulty. But like when you get a new computer, there's so many fucking hoops you have to jump through to like attach a mic. There's really not, but like if you forget to update it, it's like, okay, so the computer's updated to use it, but then you have to update all the programs. Anyway, this is fucking boring, but all of that is to say my voice should be like smooth and clear, like a talk show host, a radio host now. Should feel very smooth and calm. Is that good? It's my NPR voice.
Exactly.
We're going to talk about murder today. Anyway, okay, so we sound good now, and we're doing a new topic this week. And I keep forgetting what the topic is because I don't know, because I think because the cases are all so different that I keep not wrapping my mind around it. But it's people who posted about murdering somebody on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook.
Or online.
Murdery Facebook post. I don't know. It's not cute. There's not a cute like way to describe it, but it is a very specific person.
It is.
And I actually had enough people with just Facebook, really. So we didn't even need to do murder Snapchats. I didn't even need to do murder Instagram posts.
Yeah, because I was like, wasn't this like just like generally online? But then like everything was Facebook.
No, it's actually Facebook.
Which is weird because I feel like Facebook is like slowly dying. So it's basically used for like classifieds and like posting about murders.
Yeah. So I just feel like it is a specific personality, and like the younger kids are posting about their murders on different, like more updated apps,
like TikTok. You know you're cool if you murder somebody and then you post about it on TikTok.
I don't know about any murder TikToks. I've never heard about that.
I swear to God, there are. I know there's murder YouTubes, like a ton.
Yeah.
Like we did guy who murdered his Russian girl. He was Russian. He murdered his girlfriend. They were in Russian. They were in Russian. They were in Russia. What's wrong with me? Jesus Christ.
That was under live streaming. So that's kind of a different category. These are not live streams. These are just like single posts.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is what we're doing, you guys. Yeah. And these cases, my cases were sort of short, but like really wild.
Same.
Yeah. So do we have anything else to talk about? I'm really sorry that the audio hasn't been like fantastic the last couple.
I think people will forgive us.
I know. I'm just a perfectionist, and like anytime if you ever do something wrong, I'm like, it's fine. It sounds great. And if I do something wrong, I'm like, you have ruined the podcast. Everything is shit. Like I'm crazy.
You failed us all.
I did. I'm so sorry. But anyway, and the worst thing is I edit these fucking things and it took me 3 episodes to notice. Anyway, we have new stickers coming in the mail. Very exciting. We hope you guys have all had a wonderful weekend. I took my kid to Magic Mountain and I got whiplash. But my 7-year-old is absolutely fucking fearless. He does not like, I don't know. Okay, if you guys are near a Six Flags, if there's something called the X2 ride, it is terrifying. Like I have a photo of me on it from like 15 years ago where I like all the colors drained from my face. I'm making a face like I'm staring at death. Like it is the scariest fucking ride. And my kid fucking loved it. And he's 7 years old. It's like the most insane thing. He's also like just 48 inches. So they measured him 3 times before they put him on there, which like freaked me out because I was like, is he going to fall out of his seat? Is he going to die? Like, what's going to happen?
That's always been his personality, though. He's very like fearless and unbothered.
He really fucking is. Yeah. It's a little scary to me, but
yeah.
Anyway, okay. Let's talk about people who murdered people and then talked about it on Facebook.
Okay.
You think that these are going to be like, I don't know, a little more like fun, but mine are fucking terrible.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really bad. Okay, so I'm going to start with this story. And listen, I don't like making entertainment out of somebody suffering. Like, I don't think that I mean, I understand we have a true crime blog podcast, but like, I think that like really laying it on thick with people suffering for like as a part of a story can be a fucking bummer, and it's not a cool thing to do. But I started researching this case and I just kind of stumbled upon all of this information and it was like tearing my heart out. So I was like, I'm going to share this because I feel like this makes this case that much worse and like that much harder like to stop.
Yeah, do it.
Okay. So this the main event takes place in September 2022 in Idaho Falls, Idaho. So just a few months ago. But really the tragedy started like way earlier. I'm going to start by talking about a woman named Tara Withers. So Tara was born in 1971 in Rexburg, Idaho, and raised by her mother, Conra, and her stepfather.
Where do we know Rexburg from?
What is that? What is it?
No, I was rhetorically asking you. It's Lori Vallow. Lori and Chad.
Oh, that's what it is. I was like, why do I know this city?
Where Chad Daybell's compound was.
Okay, that makes sense. Also, having lived in like Central Oregon, if you start inching even like a couple miles toward Idaho, you're getting into some like real deliverance kind of areas where like there's cults, there's fucking crazy shit. Like Idaho is a scary fucking place in my opinion. And I know people from Idaho, but
we were saying we should do Murders of Idaho just to really explore it.
We'll find some wild ass shit. We should definitely put that on the list. So this is in Rexburg. Well, this is where she was born. She was raised by her mother, Conra, and her stepfather. So Tara is a mother of 4 boys, Casey and Kyler Searle, Nick Bird, Nicholas, and Donovan Orr. Tara currently lives in Boise and has lived in Idaho her entire life. Now, Tara herself had 3 siblings, Aaron, David, and a sister, Joanna. Tara seemed to really love and dote on her sons. Her Facebook is full of photos of all of them. She's always calling them like, my handsome boy, my handsome youngest, like my beautiful sons, all that. Very sweet. Yeah. I don't know what their relationship is like, obviously, but I love that, she's always loving on her kids. And it seems like, from what I can see, they're all Facebook friends. There isn't any sort of like drama. It seems fine. I don't know if Tara is a practicing member of the Church of Latter-day Saints, but her mother and stepfather, whose last name she took, both were. So, at the very least, she was raised in that religion. They said that, like, they did some sort of ceremony in, I think it's a temple, right? The Mormon, is that Mormon? Latter-day Saints is Mormon. Is that right? Okay.
Yep.
So that's what I thought. Then I was like, God, if I'm wrong, it's just not, it's disrespectful. So they said they did something in the temple where the children were, like, made to be their stepfathers. It was like this weird, they worded it in this way that I was like, that sounds real weird. But anyway,
I'm sure.
Like, I don't want to be disrespectful. Mormons are weird, but like,
I mean, it's a little okay. I'm sorry. It's a little okay.
I just, I don't want to mix shit up. Sure. So anyway, she was raised, in that religion. She seemed to have like fairly strong family bonds. Her sons are from different relationships, but that's fucking life, man. That's happens,
normal.
So here's where the tragedy begins. I'm not sure exactly the year, but prior to 2014, Tara's son Kyler died. He may have even as an infant. I'm not really sure, but that's a very deep tragedy to endure at any point as a mother. Now moving into 2014, Tara's mother, Conra, died of cancer at the age of 69. Not long after that, Tara herself was diagnosed with breast cancer and underwent a double mastectomy. From this, she suffered multiple infections and ended up having something like 6 surgeries to remove the infections from everything from this cancer.
So much trauma on top of those deaths and her son. And
we're not even there. Ugh. She also had to have total hip replacement surgery because the chemo destroyed her bones. And after this surgery, she once again developed an infection and had to have 2 additional surgeries that took like multiple months before she was able to fully walk again. Apparently, they had to go in and put like a concrete hip in place because your body won't like create infection around that, and then let that sit in there until they got like an infection under control, and then put another fucking hip in. They had to put a PICC line in, like the whole bit. Like PICC line is what people get put in so you can inject like antibiotics directly into them. Like it's fucking insane.
Ugh.
So things start to sort of calm down for her. We're in mid 2019 at this point. She's gone through all of these surgeries and infections and chemo. She's still dealing with her cancer, but she's managing it. We're not done. In October 2019, one of her good friends, Rocky Arellano, passed away at a very young age. 1 month later, her aunt, with whom she was extremely close, also passed away.
Jesus, what the fuck?
The very next month, her brother David ended his own life 2 days after Christmas.
Oh, God, this won't stop.
Right? This is a fuck ton of tragedy. She's still undergoing cancer treatment. A year and 1 month later, her very good friend, Nicole Peterson, to whom she referred as her sister. She was like, Nicole is my sister, even though it wasn't really her sister. She referred to her as her sister.
Yeah.
So in 2019, Nicole had a son who died by suicide. And in January 2021, 1 year and 1 month after Tara's brother, Nicole also died by suicide, not being able to cope with the loss of her son.
Ugh, gosh.
Which is very sad because Nicole also had a younger son as well.
Oh my God.
So that's just like bringing us up to speed on everything that happened through early 2021, right?
Yeah.
So now we're going to switch over to talking about one of Tara's other sons, Nick Bird. Nick was a pretty typical guy from Idaho. He loved to fish. He worked construction, spent time with his grandparents. He was a very standard, like, outdoorsy country dude. I've met 100 guys like him in Oregon. They're like, good time guys. They like to party. They like to hang out, outdoorsy, the whole bit.
Yeah.
But his main passion was cars, motorcycles and cars, but mostly cars.
Okay.
He was like a crazy car head. And this is something I'm familiar with because Rory, if we're driving and I see Rory turn his head to look at something, never do I think he's looking at some woman. It's always, I wonder what Chevy he's looking at. And
a beautiful car.
A beautiful car. If it's not a Chevy, then it's like a vintage something else that's like a muscle car or like an old truck. 90% of the time it's a Chevy. So this is the type of person that I'm pretty familiar with. So Nick spent a ton of time and most of his money working on his Subaru, which he had lowered. He added a spoiler. There's a lot of photos of an engine that I don't know what it means, but obviously he's spending a lot of time, a lot of money on this car.
Yeah.
This thing was his baby. The only thing he loved more than his car was his beautiful gray pit bull named Hercules.
Oh, that's a great name for a pit bull.
Oh my God, this dog is like so buff too. Like
yeah.
But you can tell that he's just like a baby,
Yeah, of course.
Like,
they always are.
They always are, especially the ones that look super scary like that. They're just like, can I sit in your lap and lick your face?
Yeah.
They feel like a rock covered in moss. Like that's what those because their fur is so short and they're so muscular. It's like that's what my dog was like until he got old and fat. So So anyway, he grew up in this Idaho community. Like I said, he loved his friends and he was really into community. So he decided to start a car club called the Castaways Car Club. So this club was mainly near where he lived, but it did reach all areas of Idaho and like possibly beyond. And the club used Facebook as an online gathering space where people would post about rides, car shows, all the like community happenings. They were like a club in that they would like do like charity events. Like they were really active in the community, but a lot of it was also just like posting photos of each other's cars and like commenting on like what they've been doing and just kind of like building friendship and camaraderie through their vehicles, right?
Yeah.
So Nick was the founder. He was definitely the leader. He was super inclusive, really welcoming. It was really cute. People would like post their car and be like, I hope this is good enough to get me into the group. And like, I know. It was really sweet. But it seemed like anybody who wanted to be a part of it was like welcome unless they were like a troublemaker.
He looks like a really sweet guy too.
He really does. He reminds me of like a member of the Spin Doctors or something. Which I should also comment that like Oregon and Idaho are like the youth, like the teens seem to be like ahead of the game fashion wise, but anybody who's like 20 and over they're like stuck in the 90s. Like the radio all plays like shit that I remember listening to in like high school.
I think they spoofed that in Portlandia, that it's like permanently the 90s.
Yeah. It's fucking true. It's crazy. Even Northern California, like the more north you go, the more that's like the thing. Like it's really weird. I mean, San Francisco's an outlier, but like nowhere else really.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, he's really like a cutie. He had not really strict rules, but he did have some strict rules about the in-person meetings. Mostly things like don't do burnouts, don't do anything dangerous, don't do anything that could call attention to the club or get them in trouble.
Yeah.
So this was something he obviously cared about and was really like, put time into. I think that's pretty unique for a person in their early 20s, personally. Like, I think a lot of...
let's be extra responsible.
Yeah, like, let's build up a club, like a car club and a community and, like, take care of it,
Yeah.
Now, like I said, people from all over Idaho would join the club, and this included a man named Mark Bent. Mark had recently moved to the area and was also a big lover of cars. He was, in fact, a mechanic. I don't know if he was a master mechanic, but I know that he had, like, a few distinctions as a mechanic, which is pretty good. And something, he's definitely into cars, I'll say. He knows cars and he's into cars. And he moved there from Washington. Now, I don't know why he moved to Idaho Falls or the surrounding area, but he did. He didn't seem to have a lot of friends. I know he has family, but I don't know how tight he is with them. So he was kind of like a loner a little bit, He decided to join the Castaways Car Club for because he wanted to make friends, and he was like, I love cars. These guys love cars. Seems like a good thing to do. But pretty quickly, things started to go sideways for Mark. Later, he would claim that this group was involved in illegal activities, though he never really explained like what they were, like what those activities were. Others in the group said that Mark was causing trouble like from the get. Like he always had a bad attitude and was just like kind of, a pot stirrer, I guess.
Yeah, and an otherwise like peaceful sounding crew.
Yeah, and I actually, you can look this up, this car club, and there's not a lot of shit talking. There's not a lot of drama. It sounds like there was more drama and shit talking kind of in person. But even with Mark, like he's only in a few posts like commenting, but it all seems pretty chill. So I think a lot of what happened outside of like the Facebook group, right? But he even interacted with Nick on there. He interacted with other people and it seemed totally fine. So I don't really know. What I do know is that someone in the car club started a rumor that Mark was an undercover cop, and that this rumor started to spread pretty quickly. And I think this is because he left the Castaways Car Club because of like their purported illegal dealings or whatever. So he's like, they're doing illegal things. I have to leave the club, blah, 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 blah. Right.
Kind of cop vibes.
Yeah. Right. So, it could have just been a stupid joke. It's hard to say. But he was also part of a larger group, the East Idaho Speed Hunters, which is how he found the Castaways Car Club. And this rumor began to spread there as well.
Okay.
So Mark stopped hanging out with the Castaways at all, and later claimed that they'd been harassing him and even posting his address online. Also said that there were threats against him. But again, like, I can't find any of that in the Castaways group. So if that did happen, it was not online or anywhere obvious, right?
Yeah.
I've learned not to judge based on what you see online, but, considering that this is like a Facebook-centric, topic, I wanted to at least point out that, like, I went looking for evidence of any of this strife beforehand and never found it.
Yeah, seems like Mark might be the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe, quite possibly.
Yeah, because it's like, no, these other people weren't all like friends before. Like they all came together and became friends, But anyway, so he joined this club in 2021, and by 2022, he'd become obsessed with getting revenge for the rumors. So this guy was Mark Bent was truly bent out of shape over the rumors.
He's off the hinges, off the rails a bit.
Yeah. That was a little like cop show moment. Like he must be bent out of shape. Anyway, sorry, that was terrible.
Yeah, we need a sound effect.
Yeah, so dumb. So anyway, he had decided that Nick Bird, who, by the way, was 23 at the time and Mark was 41, he decided that Nick was the one responsible. And this could be because he was the group leader. Maybe he had started the rumors. It's hard to say. There was reference in the group to the rumors, so they definitely were circulating. They definitely did exist, but I just don't know who started them. So either way, Mark wanted revenge, and on the evening of September 2nd, 2022, he took it. He went to a Castaways meetup. I think it was like a small group hanging out, and it was happening in Idaho Falls on Clairview Lane. He pulled up in his truck. He saw Nick standing with a group of friends hanging out. He got out of his truck. He pulled out a gun, and he opened fire.
Ugh.
Now, everybody scattered, and this is evidenced by, like, posts in the group later. Like, nobody knew what the fuck was going on. But it turns out that Nick was hit by multiple bullets. Police were called. They arrived on scene. And in addition to whoever called them from the scene, they also received a call from a man who identified himself as Mark Bent. Mark said he had just shot Nick Bird and that he was now at the Albertsons on 17th waiting for them to arrest him. While waiting for police, or possibly just before calling, Mark posted this to his Facebook. So I'm going to read this drivel.
Here we go. Here's the post.
Here it is. Friends, I am saddened to say that I have committed some serious crimes today that will put me in jail for the rest of my life or lead to death. Remember, Idaho is a death penalty state.
It sure is, yeah.
Yes. As some of you know, shortly after I moved to Idaho Falls, I was slandered on Facebook with rumors of me being an undercover police officer. Those rumors were followed by threats, harassment, and more slander. Even after the facts were out that I am not a police officer of any kind, people still chose to believe it and continue to harass, threaten me, and eventually look up where I live and work and post it on the internet. This all started from me being involved with a local Facebook group called East Idaho Speed Hunters and a car club called the Castaways. After being involved with the Castaways for a short time and seeing that they were involved with a lot of illegal activities, I departed from them. Because of that, the rumor of me being an undercover police officer began, and even though it seemed to pass, the rumor eventually came back to light. It's like, bro, you already said that. People kept posting about me on Speed Hunters in a negative way to the point where I started to think about attacking on one of the car meets / shows they attend. But my main goal was to kill Nick Bird, the founder of the Castaways, that started all of this by spreading rumors. He also posted where I work. So I told myself that if anything were to happen to my job, I will go after him. Unfortunately for him and his friends, I lost my job recently, so I followed said plans.
Which, okay, sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, it's fine, because we can stop there, because there's only one more little paragraph, and I fucking hate it. But let's talk about that.
Yeah, there may or may not have anything to. This may not have anything to do with the Castaways. The fact that he lost his job could be because of all kinds of other things.
I'm like 99% sure it had nothing to do with it, because otherwise, I guarantee you, he would have been ranting about it in this fucking post.
Yeah.
So my best guess is that he got fucking fired and decided to like take it out, his little pity party on this guy.
And it's really convenient too, because then he has an external factor where it was someone else's fault, not his.
Right. He doesn't have to take responsibility for anything. Yeah. So his last bullshit ass paragraph is this. Please let this be a lesson for those who think it's okay to spread rumors about someone and try to negatively impact their life on social media. You never know when someone is going to decide to do something about it, because if they do, it's too late, which also that doesn't make sense. But like, I'm going to murder you because you harassed me on social media. Like, and he thinks like, let this be a lesson? Like, bro, are you fucking for real right now? Like, what? I don't know. To me, that's like the most ridiculous. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like,
it's so stupid.
It's so fucking stupid. If you make fun of me online, I'm going to murder you and let this be a lesson to everybody. It's like the only thing we've learned is that there's something deeply fucking wrong with you, dude.
And also the rumors are that he's a cop. It's not like he's like a child molester or something. You know what I mean? It's like,
I know. I did want to say that I love that, like, even in like conservative ass Idaho, people are like, you're a fucking cop. Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess I can see in some circles how that would be a bad rumor, but like,
yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I just thought that I wanted to like separately be like, I'm glad they all hate cops, but
I just don't think people thinking you might be a cop is going to be a hindrance to you enjoying vintage cars. Like, I just don't think that that's going to.
Yeah, but also like whatever illegal activities they were doing, it sounds like he was just like causing trouble, you know? Yeah. And it's like, if you don't want to be a part of it, don't be a part of it. I don't even know if that's true, if any of that was happening. Honestly, again, you can never tell by looking at like a Facebook group. But they just seem like a bunch of car lovers. Like, I don't fucking know. But regardless, it's like this guy's obviously just creating issues and there's something very wrong with him. So anyway, apparently, like I said, you know, he lost his job, decided it was Nick's fault, which is fucking stupid, as we said. So, as I had also kind of mentioned, the Castaway Club had no idea what was going on at first. There was a post. It's actually really sad to read. Somebody posted, like, is everybody okay? What happened? Is Nick okay? And then they're posting, like, people are like, I've called every jail, because all they saw were, like, cops there and, like, sirens and Nick's car. So, like, we've called every jail. We've called, like, the police. We don't know where he is. And then, like, 10 comments down, somebody writes, like, he's gone. Like,
oh, gosh.
Yeah. And then somebody else posts a screenshot of this asshole's fucking Facebook post. And so it's like watching this realization in this community of like what happened. It's just really fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So Nick died at the hospital. Mark was arrested and a gun was found on his passenger seat that matched the bullets in and near Nick's body. And I just want to bring this back to Nick's mom, Tara.
Jesus, I know. I was thinking of that the whole time. Like, that is so fucking horrific. Like,
this woman cannot catch a fucking break. Like, it's so fucking heartbreaking to me. It makes me feel so bad for her. One thing I wanted to mention, Nick's dog, I think, was at the scene of the crime. He was thought to be missing, but he was later found safe and is now living with Nick's dad, who is like taking very good care of him.
Good.
In the aftermath of his death, the car community has put on a number of rides. They did a balloon release like 2 days after his death. They're keeping up with Mark Bent's trial. He's now changed his tune and he pleaded not guilty to the murder. And it's like, what are you doing, dude? Like,
yeah,
what, like you had the weapon, you called the police and admitted it. You admitted it online. Like, I think it's because it's a death penalty state, so he's trying to like
backpedal.
Yeah. So there's something called like Vine, I guess. And if you are like involved as a victim or a friend of a victim in a court case, you can be kept up to date on if the people make bail. Did you know about that?
No.
Yeah, so like victims and people can like be notified if somebody posts bail and is released from prison. And so all of like the car club guys are like, sign up here. You can keep up with like what's going on with the case. It was really fucked up they posted like he was like crying at his first appearance in court, but he wasn't crying about the fact that he murdered a 23-year-old. He was crying about the fact that he lost his job. So it was just more like boo-hoo, poor me bullshit. This guy is like a professional
about himself.
victim. Yeah. It's like all he fucking wants to do is feel bad for himself. Tara did post about the murder a few times, calling Mark a piece of shit and saying she hopes he rots in hell. And honestly, like, I'm kind of surprised we don't see more of that energy from victims' families. I feel like that's how I would behave, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, so Tara has Nick's ashes, and, you know, I just feel really bad. Like, the car community still posts about him, like, daily. It's been months, and he's still, like, such a big part of it. So anyway, that's it. We don't know what's going to happen to Mark, if he's going to get the death penalty or life. He's certainly not going to be found not guilty. I mean, come on. There's, like... ample evidence that he did it. So I'm really interested to see why he's even pleading not guilty. But my best guess is he's trying to avoid the death penalty through some weird like plea deal. So we'll see. But that's it. That's the case.
Wow, that's so sad.
I know. They're not fucked up.
Yeah, it's really fucked up. And just like it's scary how you can be like cross paths with the wrong person and that's it.
Yeah, and it's like I don't think anybody realized like how dangerous this guy was, because it's just like he left the group and then he just like stewed about it. Like he didn't even fucking, you know what I mean? Like there wasn't even any warning. He just was like building it up inside and then attacked. Like it's fucking scary. Like I don't,
and that happens with stalkers too, where they're just like obsessing and creating all these dangerous plans and people could just not even know.
Like have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
That's the most scary thing to me.
Yeah,
it's really fucking scary. But anyway, there it is. There's fucked up. My next one is just like soul crushing. So at least this one's fucking soul crushing too, but my God.
Yeah, it is. It all is.
They all are. All right, what's yours?
Mine's it's gonna be a little short but wacky.
Mm-hmm.
This
Wacky's
is good. And horrific as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a given.
Yeah, by wacky I mean like there's some unexpected turns here.
Okay.
So Kenneth Allen Amyx. I really want to say Amyx, but it might be Amyx. I want to say Amyx. Amyx. It's a very unusual last name.
I think it's Amyx. I think the Y makes the A say like instead of A.
Amyx. Feels right. Okay.
Like the credit card. Kind of.
Yeah.
Sort of.
So Ken here. This happened in 2016 in Plano, Texas.
Okay.
Going back, oh my God, 7 years.
That's so fucked. That's so fucked up.
It really is. Time is the scariest thing of all.
Yes, it really is. Time is the biggest murderer in the world.
Passage of time. Yeah, it's true.
Kills us all.
Yeah, it could get us all eventually. Okay.
Great.
That was cheerful.
Dark.
So Ken here was 45 at the time, and he had lived for quite a short time with his new, I assume, girlfriend, Jennifer Straight Spears.
Okay.
Got apostrophe there.
Okay.
She was 43. She had just gotten a divorce from her husband, and they had been dating, she and Ken, for only about 4 months. So I'm not sure how or when the move-in happened, but it was fairly quick.
Pretty quick. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She had actually, or if he was just staying there, I'm not totally sure what the arrangement was. Okay. But oddly, Jennifer had gotten a master's degree in criminal justice from the University of North Texas.
Okay.
That doesn't come up again, but just had to include it because that's random.
Yeah, because she's maybe like one of us a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Or a cop lover. Sorry. Just kidding. She's probably one of us. Anyway.
She's not a cop, though, I don't think.
No.
Yeah, so she's a true crime loving lady of some kind. Jennifer also, in the course of her divorce, had to get emergency protective order on behalf of the couple's 2 children from the Department of Family and Protective Services, which tells you that this guy she's divorcing is abusive to the kids in some fashion.
A scary guy.
So she has 2 kids, bad divorce, almost very recently in her past.
Right.
That's where she's at. However, Ken, and I don't know if Jennifer knew this or not. It did not. I did not ever see that she did, and I'll circle back to that. Mm-hmm. But Ken here had actually been charged with both child sex abuse and indecency with a child charges from 2 separate counties. Those 2 charges are from 2 separate kids in 2 separate counties.
Oof.
At the time of this incident, I guess I'll say, these 2 warrants were outstanding. So he had just gotten these charges. Yeah.
Wow.
And all I could find about the details of that case, which are obviously going to be kept mum because they're about minors.
Right.
All I could find was that in one of the 2 cases, he started molesting a teen girl from when she was 13 years old. And it was a long-term repeated occurrence. So
no.
I imagine the other one is probably similar. But yeah, he's molesting 2 separate children.
That's not fucking good. That is not good.
Yeah. It's unclear, like I said, if Jennifer knew those charges or who knew about them. But after, this event, many friends will come forward to say that the couple, Ken and Jennifer, seemed normal, didn't argue a lot. But again, who fucking knows what really happens behind closed doors?
I'm going to say there's no way she knew, because if she's getting a protective order against somebody to protect her children.
Someone else, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way she's going to jump into a relationship with a known, like, child sex offender. Like, that had to be something that she just was not aware of.
That's my guess. Like I said, I don't know for sure. But
right. I know we can't say for sure, but yeah. It stands to reason.
Yeah. So on May 29th, 2016,
okay.
Jennifer's sister sees some very fucking upsetting, disturbing posts on Jennifer's Facebook timeline. This is Jennifer posting. One shows Jennifer's nude body with her throat slashed.
What the fuck?
And another one is essentially Ken taking a selfie with Jennifer's face covered in blood.
Oh my God, Diva.
So he's taking a selfie with her body, and the posts say, love you all. That's the one with her body. And then the post with the selfie with their 2 faces says, please pray for us.
What the fuck kind of fucked up shit is that?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Takes a selfie with her, posts it from her Facebook.
Jesus Christ.
Which is also kind of a way to ensure that her family and friends see it, right?
Right.
So the photo of her body was somewhat dark, as if the lights were out, but it was obviously still disturbing enough. You could tell that it was.
What it was.
Thankfully, these pictures are not online anywhere, so if you're morbid and you're trying to search, it's not there, thankfully.
Yeah. Facebook, I'm sure, did a good... And also, like, that's not the type of thing that, like, people would have caught before they took it down. You know what
right.
I mean?
So I think probably the reason they didn't is because her Facebook was set to like friends and family, not to public.
Yeah, and her friends and family are not screenshotting that shit.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why it didn't like, get saved elsewhere in the internet cache.
Ugh.
But of course her family and friends were still all traumatized.
Yeah.
Who saw it.
Yeah.
And he also texted at least one of those pictures to her mom.
Oh my God, dude.
Yep. This guy's a piece of shit.
Major.
Yes. So the sister alerts authorities after seeing those photos, and they go to the residence where they find Jennifer dead, and Ken was lying like kind of adjacent to her, on top of her, looking, unconscious, but he was actually fine. He was sort of playing dead there. He
playing
had
dead, but with like nothing wrong with him.
He had quote unquote superficial stab wounds.
Oh, so he just like poked himself a few times to try and make it seem.
Yeah. He was taken to the hospital where those were kind of checked out, and they determined that these were absolutely self-inflicted injuries.
Yeah, of course.
En route to the hospital, Ken did a really sad, pathetic performance, acting really upset. He's saying, quote, "Oh, I killed her. Oh, I lost her. I'll never get her back. Just kill me." Like, just, very performative.
Like, bro, you had the chance in the house with the knife. You lost it. Knock it the fuck off. Like, who do you think you're fooling?
At the scene, they found 2 6-inch knives, which were the knives that were used to kill Jennifer and do the baby stabs to him.
The baby stabs.
Ken told investigators that he and Jennifer, you ready for this story, Cindy?
Oh, I'm so, yeah. I mean,
I
don't know.
No. They had they had been planning to kill each other in a suicide pact for several months. And that night, they had both been drinking at their apartment and decided, like, this is the night we're going to do it, and we're going to stab each other to death.
That doesn't work. You can only one of you is going to kill the other one. I mean, maybe not, but like
they were going to alternate. They were going to go like,
yeah, but that's not a smart plan. Like, what if you hit something significant on stab one? It's not a great plan. It's not a great plan.
So he claimed, however, that. So here's what he said happened with a suicide pact. He's claimed that Jennifer, quote unquote, chickened out and became too, quote unquote, weak to continue. So he had to finish her off. These are all of his words.
Wow.
So I'm not sure if she chickened out before she got stabbed and she's like, I don't want to go through. Then he's like, no, I have to stab you. Or if she got a little bit stabbed and then she was like, I don't want to get stabbed anymore. And he's like, no, I'm going to stab you more. Like, I don't know which of those two things he's saying it was.
The fact that he's talking about his just murdered girlfriend using terms like chickened out.
Yes.
And like too weak to continue. Like it or finished her off. Like, what are you doing, bro? Like.
Yeah. After Jennifer's murder, Ken called his dad and said, "This is Ken." I think he left a message. "This is Ken. I love you. We've cut our throats." And then he listed the address of the apartment.
But he didn't cut his throat.
He did not.
He didn't. No. And she
did not cut her own. She did not cut her own throat. So we've cut our throats. Seems like a little weird.
Yeah, he's just trying to set the scene, but he's not a very intelligent man, I'm going to wager, because like none of this makes sense. It's just very like slapdash and weird.
Yeah, and like if she chickened out, that means she didn't do any stabbing. She didn't stab him because all of his wounds were self-inflicted. So,
yeah, and it also means she didn't want to die. So when she chickens out, you stop because that becomes, I mean, it would have been murder anyway, but like now it's like actual, like real.
But even if it was a botched suicide pact, if she says, I actually don't want to do this, you should respect that.
You got to stop. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Lots of problems there with that, that story. June 16th, about 2 weeks after Jennifer's murder, a random other thing happens where Ken's sister Christy and parents Sherry and Charles are all arrested and charged with child endangerment for knowingly, this is like I read the phrasing of this like 3 different places to make sure I had it right, and it's just as fucked up as this wording implies. They specifically allowed a child to be around Ken, and they all knew that he was abusing her, and they like facilitated it.
Oh, fuck these fucking people.
Yes.
What the fuck, dude?
It wasn't like they just happened to like not report him right away. Like they brought the kid, or kind of, that was like the implication of like, dude, they were allowing this kid to be around him. Yeah.
Wow, dude. That's fucking twisted.
So even though he had confessed, he still goes through with a bench trial, not with a judge decides. And I guess he was using like the suicide pact thing to say he was not guilty, which like
That's not really how that works. Like, that's not, yeah.
And a judge, of course, did not believe his story. In 2017, he was sentenced to life in prison. Not that shocking.
Yeah.
And I'm sure life in prison was just for Jennifer's murder. I'm sure he accrued other years for the child abuse charges.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to note, this is like a big gripe of mine when I was reading about this case, is that a lot of, I think there was, I forget the paper, there was like a Texas newspaper that kept having the weirdest phrasing and the weirdest headlines where they called him a, quote, survivor of a suicide pact in the headline.
He's a white man, right? And he's in Texas?
Yeah.
I mean, there you go.
But literally there's like 5 headlines out there that are whole ass like, this man survived a botched suicide pact and like, and I'm like, what? Like, this is
dude, 10 seconds of research and you'll realize that he just murdered her and then gave himself little pokes to make it seem
that's
like
obviously what happened. But there's a couple headlines like that where it's like, botched suicide attempt or botched suicide pact leads to murder. And I'm like, stop saying that. Like, stop
diminishing what he did because he's a white man and we're in Texas, you fuckwads. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And I'm going to say also, like, I did not see this anywhere. This is purely my speculation, like 100%. However, I really feel strongly that this was perhaps the motive was that she found out about his fucking child abuse charges.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that's quite possible. Because, like, what else would have happened?
Yeah, either he didn't want her to know, or she found out and confronted him, or she was trying to leave him because she found out. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think it was a heat of the moment murder because she found out and was like, get the fuck out of my house. Yeah. You know? Because that was her house. Yeah. So she was probably like, you're fucking out of here. And
I bet you, yeah. And then the suicide pact thing was 100% afterwards, obviously.
And just made up.
But, like, I just didn't like how the headlines really took his word for it.
I mean, you don't like it because that's fucking shameful. That is a shameful, that's
suicide
bad journalism.
Survivor. No, he's not a survivor. He's just a plain old murderer.
And it's like, tell me you're not a good journalist, you know? Like, oh, well, I'm just going to write down what he said. And it's like, why don't you look at the fucking evidence? Like,
it's okay to, like, say, like, okay, well, that's what he said, but, like, don't phrase it that way, you know?
Yeah, like, self-proclaimed or like purported or just straight up murderer. Like, come on, stop giving this guy any
suicide pact faker, you know?
Yeah.
So a few more things here. At the sentencing hearing, he declared that he had a news story on the stand. He said, either I'll die in prison or y'all will listen to my story. And
I going to die in prison.
Yeah, he said that here's his new story. He said that he's God.
Oh.
He said it's Kenneth Amyx here on Earth, but I'm God. So, like, y'all, you know, that's like, don't believe my name, regular name. And then he said that his victim visited him in his dreams. So in full disclosure, I wasn't able to see what his new story was because the fucking same asshole that Dallas newspaper that had that phrasing kept locking me out with a price wall. So
hey guys, FYI, there is a thing. It doesn't always work. Like, I think LA Times has like figured it out, but it's called 12foot.io. So it's the number 12 ft.io and then a / or whatever the slash is. And that will unlock a ton of articles for free, so you don't have to pay for them. And this is something we should be sharing with each other all the time. I also have a good hookup for college like books. If you all need those textbooks, nice. DM us, send us an email, and we'll hook you up with the link to that. Yeah.
Very cool. Anyway, yeah. But anyway, I think his new story is related to how he's God. I think
he's trying to get like a fucking
insanity defense
or get moved to a hospital or something. This guy's just a fucking abusive, manipulating piece of dog shit. Like, straight up. That's it.
Yeah, and it's like very much too late, and he's trying to backpedal and try out some new stuff, clearly.
Well, good for him. Keep trying, fuckwad.
Yeah. So the last chapter here is, remember how when we were talking about how the photo isn't available online, you briefly were like, oh, I'm sure Facebook did a good job. They didn't do a good job. So here's so people, including her sister and multiple other friends and family, reported those photos to Facebook right away, and repeatedly. They reported them again and again, but Facebook wouldn't take them down for 36 hours.
Whoa.
Yeah.
See, I thought this was like after they caught a lot of shit for like leaving shit like that up, because I know they used to get in trouble for it, but I thought they kind of had it under control after that, but apparently not.
We talked about that with like live streaming murders too, how like Facebook and places like leave stuff up for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. But if you show like a nipple, they're like on top of it, you know?
Yeah. I've had pictures of my son shirtless removed because he has long hair, and they're like, that's a little girl. And I'm, first of all, no, it's fucking not. Second, like, it's a child. Like, knock it.
So
like,
weird.
Everything about that is fucked. So
it's very weird. Ugh, yeah. So, so friends of hers were posting themselves outraged, saying, "Why are these pictures still up?" And they heard back that from Facebook that the picture doesn't violate their community standards.
And dead, murdered body?
Correct. What? And one friend said that a Facebook agent told them to just block Jennifer if they didn't like what she was posting.
I got banned from Facebook for 30 days for writing the two words together, white trash. And I wasn't even referring to like a person. I was writing a band name, and I got banned for 30 fucking days. A naked woman with her throat slashed doesn't violate their community standards.
Wow.
Like,
yeah,
it's fucking sick, dude.
So I just have to include the Facebook spokesperson statement because it's very stupid.
Oh my God.
And you can roast it. So a Facebook spokesperson would later say, which I'm so sorry for you. That's your job. That's horrible.
Yeah.
They would later say that they refused to take the photos down because they thought that Jennifer posted them herself as a quote unquote cry for help.
She's dead.
She slit her throat. Yeah. Quote, Facebook has long been a place where people share their experiences and raise awareness about important issues. Sometimes these experiences and issues involve violence and graphic images of public interest and concern. We remove graphic images when they are shared to celebrate violence. As soon as it was clear what the facts were behind this photograph, we removed it.
I'm sorry, there's a naked woman with her throat slit open. Like that, I don't think there's a context wherein that's going to be like appropriate. Like what in the fuck?
What's confusing to me is like, even if the scenario they're saying is fine, happened where she's like, say, a suicidal person, and she's staging this to like have as a cry for help, that should still not be up. That should still not be fucking up. Oh, it's okay if you like cut yourself and you're naked and then you cut yourself and you post it online. That's okay. Like
it's one thing if somebody has like a zombie costume for Halloween, but it's another when it's an actual human being who is naked and bleeding and dead and cut open.
Like if they're kind of saying it's okay if it was self-harm, and I'm like, no,
definitely not. Like, was Facebook fucking cerulean butterfly? Like, what the fuck is going on? Do you remember that? That's a deep cut right there.
Really?
Oh my God. Cerulean Butterfly was like a pro eating disorder website.
Oh God.
And I think it eventually got taken down because members of the community were like, people are dying and you're like promoting this. They were like showing people how to have like eating disorders and shit. It was like for a brief moment, it was like under the guise of like a support group, but it really wasn't. Anyway, so sorry. If anybody knew what that was, you're old like me and hello. Be in a club together. But anyway, it's just a weird take. That's a weird fucking take.
Isn't that weird? Yeah, I wanted to include it because I was like, wait, like all they had to say was like, look, we're sorry, we should have taken it down. Like, but instead they were like, look, this would have been fine if she did it as a cry for help. And I'm like, what?
No, sir. That's incorrect.
Okay.
Yeah, the doubling down is always like, y'all just fucking take the L and just like apologize. It was an oversight. We'll be better next time. Like that's the way to handle it. Like, don't be a narcissist, Facebook. Just admit you're wrong and fucking apologize and move on.
They totally are, though. Yeah,
they are. I know. Everybody.
Also, Facebook, I think it was around the same time, ran into this issue with Florida man. He's a quintessential Florida man, Derek Medina, who is the other iconic person who would have been on this case, but I think I covered him for Florida. He is the iconic Facebook poster. He killed his wife and then posted a picture of the body on Facebook. That picture also stayed up for a long time.
Yeah, it did. And it was like him like crying for help and like whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was 36 hours. I should have gotten the number.
No, but it was up a long time and it was a problem.
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. But Derek Medina was 2013.
See, that's what I thought is like after that, Facebook like got their shit together. No. I was mistaken. I gave Facebook too much credit.
3 years later. Yeah.
Yeah. I still have a Facebook, but what I think it is honestly, like I use it for like marketplace stuff. And then I think a lot of people use it for like clubs because it's great for like having like groups. Almost everything. I barely interact with people I know on there, like at all. Like,
no,
and I think Facebook has like figured out that people don't interact with each other as much on there. So like my feed doesn't even have my friends in it. It's like all just like groups and like marketplace shit. So
I use Facebook 90% of the time for cat groups that I belong to, pictures of cats.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Especially I recommend, hot tip, there's a group called This Cat is Chonky that's very good. It's very high quality. And they have lots of spin-offs. It's like very popular, and it's the best community of just chonky cats.
I'm in one that makes fun of modern farmhouse, like houses that like people that go in and like destroy homes by painting everything like gray. And then I'm in what has been referred to as the modern farmhouse of baby names group. It's like that name isn't a tragedy, it's a murder, but it's still
oh no, I need to be in that.
Dude, it's so good. Some of the names in there, I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, I'm also in architecture shaming. That's quite good.
So good. So as you guys can tell, we're judgy assholes, but hey, here we are.
But I also like to celebrate large cats as well.
Yeah, all the best shit. Making fun of ugly houses, ugly names, bad architecture, and loving on cats. Like, what more could you ask for?
That's what it's for. Yeah.
Facebook, a place for haters. Anyway.
There we go.
All right. There's episode 1 of 2 of this horrible topic. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We got a couple new patrons. Shout out. Woo woo. We got one at the $1 level, one at the $5 level. We love you both. The stickers have been shipped. I have reached out to both of you for your addresses, so hit us up. Kay, if you're listening, hit us up. We'll give you one of our new fancy stickers if you want one. We don't have them for sale yet, but I'm going to try to get them up on the website. I think we'll do them for like $3. They're fucking cool. We'll post them on Instagram if you guys want one. If you want to join us on Patreon, it's patreon.com/twistedlisters. Our TikTok's been getting a lot of love lately, even though I haven't done much. It's just at Twisted Listers. If you'd like to join us on Instagram, you can do that at
Twisted Listers PCast.
If you'd like to send us an email with case suggestions or just to say hi, which we always love, you can do that at
twistedlisterspod@gmail.com.
And if you'd like to check out the website, which hopefully will have the stickers on it very shortly, you can do that at
twistedlisterspod.com.
Yay! Thanks everybody again for listening. Please like, rate, review, share us with all your friends and family. And until the next episode,
stay
off our list.
Yeah.